Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nove Ture, the podcast where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. I am in charge of this today. I am the king of this episode today. My name is Jacob. That's Chaston, and that's Colby. Say hi, guys. Colby ruined my intro. That was a perfect intro, and you just ruined it. Now I'm gonna start over. Like, actually, say hi, guys.
Pick it up. I didn't do nothing.
Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi guys.
How are you boys doing today?
Water.
Semantics, Jacob. Semantics.
Yeah, Jacob, man.
Shut up about your semantics. Tell the audience how you're doing today, for the love of God.
I'm doing good.
We're doing good.
You guys are both doing good. That's great. Didn't care. I had to ask because check that off my list of things I have to do to check. Okay. Boy, have I got an episode for us today, boys.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an episode. Hear me out. We're going to talk about obsessions from years past, traveling through the trenches of World War One and the universe possibility on this side. Don't look at anything that's before World War One. We all actually know that Chaston might.
I know I mouthed the words.
Oh, well. Anyways, we all know that World War One was the start of history, right? That's just a fact. I'm just finding it anywhere. I don't know what these people are talking about, like men or whatever.
No.
Cavemen never.
Never.
Neither.
The Romans, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Romans.
who were the...
I mean, obviously they were roaming around. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna talk about like what obsessions that we had growing up, any obsessions from like childhood, any current obsessions that we have, and what it feels like to be obsessed with stuff. That makes sense. So yeah,
I think the topic is portrayed well.
You think so?
Host Jacob.
Yeah. Thanks. I worked really hard on it, actually. I'm glad. So yeah, who wants to lead us off with?
Okay, so are we gonna go in like chronological order of obsessions, or are we gonna go like
okay? So think of it this way: you'll probably want to save your best obsession for last.
I really only had one,
but just do it however you guys feel. If
I want to go first because I have a couple. I have a handful.
Then Chaston, the floor is yours.
Thanks, man. So, I was one of those kids that really liked history as a young lad. I didn't get heavy into history until like way later. It wasn't until freshman year, but we will talk about that later in the podcast episode. Stay tuned. But the first thing I remember getting obsessed with was when I was like 4 or 5 years old. We just moved from Georgia back to Tennessee. My dad got out of the service, and we got a home here in Tennessee. My childhood home that I lived in for 10 years. Ish. But I spent like 4 years straight obsessing over the ship of the RMS Titanic for no reason. I think I watched the movie at my grandparents' house on VHS, and I was like, oh my God, big boat. I love that big boat. Music on the big boat. Which on a side tangent real quick, before we even get into it, as of now, TikTok has been banned. I think this should be addressed in the episode.
Oh yeah, you're right. So as of actually 2 hours ago, I tried to scroll on TikTok because what else do you do while you're taking a poop? And it was like, nope, sorry, you can't use it anymore. And you know, it sucks.
But it did say that Donald Trump is working to reinstate TikTok.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll probably.
Yeah,
it could possibly stay banned forever, but it did take them 3 years to ban it, so it might take even longer to unban. Who knows, really?
It just depends on how the bureaucracy works. But as of now, TikTok has been banned. And a lot of people posted their finale, like, oh, this is goodbye, using the hymnal song of Near My God to Thee, which was played on the Titanic, which is actually a fun fact about it.
Oh, I didn't know that this was tied in. That's...
Oh.
Semantics.
That's
semantics.
But no, the song was used on TikTok, and it flashed me back into my past of trying to learn the song on my keyboard, and my obsession over the first instrument I wanted, which I now own but can't play, violin. That is actually the instrument I wanted to play initially, but I got stuck with keyboard.
Is that an issue though? Keyboard?
No, not really. I had a blast playing keyboard, and there's more. I feel more variety that comes with a keyboard and piano than does a violin. But maybe I just haven't explored that avenue. But with the Titanic, the song "Played Near My God to Thee" was actually performed on the ship when it sank back in 1912, April 14th at 11 p.m. is when it started sinking. I think 11:15 is when it started to sink, and it finally sank on April 15th at 1:40 in the morning. I could be way off on the times, but I know the dates are correct. 19.
So wait, the song that they play on Titanic was actually played on the Titanic?
Yes, and the people played it. The musicians did it just to calm down the passengers, because just like in the movie, everyone's freaking out. You know, the ship's going down. There's no rescue inside.
Stuff all pick up
Yeah.
their instruments and play.
And
on
they
top
they
of the
pick up
deck
and
as the
play.
ship is sink. Yeah.
I don't
remember
think they
seeing that.
played till they fell like they do in the movie. I think they played to a point and got to safety, or maybe they did fall. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I always thought that was interesting. And here in Tennessee, which is where we're located, I'm not going to specify where in Tennessee, but in Pigeon Forge in Tennessee, there's a Titanic museum, and there's a section dedicated to the musicians.
I don't think I've ever been in that building.
You have to go. I will take you. It is one of my favorite places to go.
Bet.
It is kind of, I don't know how it is now because I haven't been in a couple of years, but when I was a kid and my parents took me, I knew more than the people working. That's how obsessed I was with the Titanic.
That's crazy.
And like you have to go through a period of time of research and like actual, like you're not just an actor. You have to know facts.
Where it's
and
fun to learn. Like if you, like the more you dive into something you're obsessed with, it's like you get deeper and deeper into it.
Yeah, and then Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." That was in my MP3 player as a child because I liked that song because of the Titanic, not because I like Celine Dion, just because I liked that it was in the Titanic. But like I learned so many random facts, which is like I feel like common knowledge now, but like back when I was researching it and stuff as a kid, I felt like I was making like huge groundbreaking discoveries.
You had to like go to the actual websites that
you had to go to websites. I went to libraries.
Yeah, it wasn't just you could go Google it.
There's just a training montage of little baby Chasten just going through hundreds of thousands of books.
Yeah, that is essentially what my childhood was research, and research has followed me into my adult life. I love to research things. I have an obsession with it. But I learned like the only thing that really like got people's attention when I tell them like random facts is, the Titanic was famous for its 4 smokestacks.
Right.
All 4 were operational, but 3 of them were actually from the boiler room. You know where the smoke from that 4th one came from?
What?
The kitchen. It was mainly decorative to increase the price of the ticket for the Titanic.
Wow.
Yeah. And like that's usually the one that gets people's attention. But like, and if you ask me now for the Titanic facts, gone. They're mostly gone.
Yeah,
so this is specifically.
It's also been.
So this is specifically something that you were obsessed with as like a younger,
an adolescent child.
Yeah, which is weird for a child to want to learn something already.
Yeah, on a boat.
Yeah,
where there was 1,500 passengers. No, that's wrong. I'm gonna see if I
can. We'll have
Mr.
E put a number over here somewhere.
Yeah, Mr. E.
Down there.
Put it right over there.
Yeah, so number.
I'm trying to think.
That number's the number. Whether or not he says, he's probably going to say it wrong, but that's the
I'm probably going to say it wrong. I think there was 1,500 passengers, and
Mr. E already knows the exact number.
I know. I can't remember the numbers, but I think it was no. It was like 2,200 passengers, and 1,500 died, and 700 survived.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like it was a huge percentage died, and it's because majority of the people on the boat were of 3rd class, the peasants of the UK, and they like, oh well, I can get on the boat for real cheap in the 3rd class and go to America and start my new life because it was supposed to go to New York. Never made it to New York.
I thought it left New York.
No, it went from I can't remember. Mr. E put where it came from. I can't remember where it came from.
Mr.
But it was supposed to go to New York, and it's somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, closer to the American side of the pathway of it, met its demise via iceberg, which could have been undone if they actually had proper eyewear.
Yeah,
Spectacles in the crow's nest.
Yeah, wasn't a guy let off or something? Like he got fired and he accidentally took the key with him, which had the binoculars inside that box, which could have stopped it from sinking.
So they had to go and if you're out on a boat, and keep in mind, you can see for miles, but like in long distance terms, the iceberg looked like a small chunk of ice. Nothing. It wouldn't have done anything.
Right.
But by the time they got closer, the iceberg was taller than the stern of the ship. I think even like the second and third levels above the stern.
Well, you gotta think
people were like, "Fuck,
because
that's
of
bad."
because of the curvature of the Earth. Also, if you look so far, ships will just kind of appear in the distance or like vanish. And sometimes you'll only be able to see them through the reflections of the water before you can even see the ship first.
Yeah,
That
it's crazy.
horizon line. So it makes perfect sense why they wouldn't be able. And a ship of that size at that time period, I'm sure needed about.
It was the largest cruise liner of the time.
I'm pretty sure it needed about 10 solar eclipses to make half a U-turn.
Yeah. It took a lot of power for it to turn. But really, like, just, the Titanic hits the iceberg, and I can also be fact checked on this, but I remember reading this years ago. Was the love story of Jack and Rose?
Right.
That was
famous.
not just.
I think you mean Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah.
The love story.
But it was not just a Hollywood addition to the movie and the story of the Titanic. That was a legitimate thing. It was more on the lines of a Romeo and Juliet type deal.
I remember at the end of the Titanic movie, Jill is Rose. Rose is at the end of the movie, and she's talking about the Titanic. Is that really her? I don't remember.
I can't remember if she was actually someone that was on it.
When did the ship leave?
1912.
Oh, I guess it is possible.
The movie was done in 99, I think, or 91 to 90.
Yeah, she would have been in her late 80s, early 90s. Somewhere in that area by the time.
I think she was.
So it's entirely possible that she did.
There's still survivors of the. I think there's still survivors of the Titanic alive. They're just here. Let me do a googly oogly.
Yeah, he's gonna do a googly oogly.
Nope. Okay, the last one died in 2009.
2009. That would put him over 100 years old, though.
Yeah.
Well, no, 12. You said 1912. Oh, so he would have been.
But you're doing the math of like he was born on the ship, so you got to think these people were like.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's just when the ship left. So he's probably about 100, probably 18.
In 2009, died at the age of 97. So 3 years from 100. So this person.
So he was an infant on the ship.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Was born here. Look, this person's name is Milvina Dean. Was born on February 2nd, 1912. A few months. Wait, hold on.
So yeah,
February 2nd, 1912. February, March, April. 2 months. The kid was 2 months old.
He was a 2-month-old baby whenever the Titanic let off and sank.
That's crazy.
Oh, hey, look, I was correct. The Titanic killed 1,517 passengers and crew.
Good job. Good job.
I remember.
Yay!
But the Titanic was like a huge thing, and that is probably what led me into getting obsessed over a lot of different things. Which I'm trying to think, like, that's the Titanic, like, got me a history buff where I was like, oh man, what other stuff happened? And then you learn the Titanic was made with 2 identical sisters.
I did know that.
Do you know their names?
No, I don't know.
The Olympic and the Britannic.
Yes,
I knew the Britannic.
The Britannic sank because the Britannic was transformed into a World War I Red Cross ship. It was hit with a torpedo or hit a sea mine. I can't remember which one. I think it was the torpedo. And it sank kind of sideways. Mr. E, I don't want to give you too much work, but put a picture of the sunken Britannic. There you go.
Nice.
But like you could see the hole open on the side and stuff. And it's crazy. And oh god. Hair exploded.
Cat hair.
But with the Britannic, the captain of it, I don't remember the captain's name of the Britannic. I do know the Titanic's captain name is Captain Smith.
Oh,
very easy name to remember.
Yeah.
Do I know his full name? No. But with the Britannic, and I don't want to go off too long because we have other obsessions to talk about besides the Titanic. and the sisters of the RMS Company of the White Star, which is no longer around. They have similar things. I think companies bought it, brought it back, bought it, killed it, brought it back. But they left the propellers running, and where the ship was sinking, and it sank at like a cockeye angle.
Yeah.
So the propellers were propped out, and whenever the lifeboats hit the water, it created a vacuum in the water, sucking in 2 lifeboats, killing 2 lifeboats full of people, of crew member, civilian, and children.
I would rather be blended though than freeze to death.
Yeah, well, this happened in the Mediterranean Ocean, not with the Titanic. So their water probably wasn't that bad.
That's horrible.
That is horrendous. And I think the Olympic just ended up retired in America at some point, years down the line. It's been damaged and attacked multiple times, but the Olympics stayed going and they retired. But the Britannic and Titanic did not have a good end. One last thing on the Titanic was, I can't remember the name of the ship that was closest to it when it started sending off its signal flares in Morse code, calling for help. But the Carpathia,
like closest as in like built similarly.
No, closest as in like close to the Titanic.
Like distance.
Yeah, the Carpathia was like 50 miles away, and it almost blew up its engines to get to it. Like it was projected to get there in like 3 hours. It got there in like 1.5.
Oh, so it was going double the speed it was supposed to.
Yeah, and like the top knots is the speed that they use for boats and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah.
The top knot, the Carpathia should go was like 18, 19, maybe 22 if you pushed it. The thing was going like 35 knots.
Part of that thing is hauling.
It was hauling ass.
All in a boat like that in like deep ocean water is not good for it. But on the other end, when you see the Titanic quite literally snapping in half in the distance, and then you see like little, I don't think you'd be able to see the lifeboats at that distance with the waves and such.
No, not really.
Whoever was in the crow's nest might have spotted them.
Yeah. Thankfully, they followed the signal flares and where the Morse code was, because you can track where your signal's coming from.
Right.
Because they have they have their directions of like, hey, I am at these coordinates. Help. And like
help.
Recordings of people like telling their story of the Titanic is crazy to listen to. Like one of my favorite movies is Band of Brothers. It's a series I like to watch, and I've read the book. Where they have people that were actually there in the movie and stuff. You can find like interviews of people that were on the Titanic that can tell about it. And oh my God, hearing these people tell this horrific night hits, because like you've seen like World War II movies, but if you ever talk to an actual World War II vet or watch a movie of it that has an actual vet being like, that is the worst we've seen, and they get real serious about it, and you could just see in their eyes, God, it is the worst. Because you're just like, oh, it's just a boat go, people die.
Well, yeah, that's because we weren't there to experience it. Like we didn't even like get even down to the 9/11 attack. We never experienced that. The
closest one to it is Colby, but he was born in 2002.
Yeah, he was even born after it. So like, but we will never know what those people felt when they were sitting in their classrooms, their office towers, buildings, right? Mm-hmm. Like any other like tall building like that, or like people at the news station who were getting word that this tragedy had occurred and things like that. Like we just will never understand.
We'll never know until it happens to us. We'll never know
that live. Now, I will say the closest experience we've probably had to something like that, and I don't want to equate the two together because I'm not knowledgeable enough to actually know if these two things are. I just know they're both like terrorist, quote unquote. Big quotes on this. I don't even know if that's true or if it's just like Puppet Nation. But the Hamas attack on Israel.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
When that was happening,
Is it not still happening anymore?
I think they called the ceasefire. Don't quote me on that.
I haven't.
Please correct me if I'm wrong in this blank space right here. Just give a little brief thing that says like, or a photo of the web page, if you will.
My turn.
Oh, you gonna go next?
My turn.
Okay.
Okay. So for me, same thing as Shasta. I was obsessed with history as a little kid. One of my topics was the American Civil War. I don't know why, but I loved the American Civil War because it was, brother against brother, father against son, North versus South.
Oh, yeah.
And the one thing I loved about it was number one, they went from muzzle loader to repeating rifle to machine gun, because the Civil War was actually the first war that the machine gun was actually used in.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't. I didn't actually
not
know
many
that.
people. Yeah, not many
I
people
didn't
know that the
I
machine
knew
gun
about
wasn't.
the Gatlin thing that they cranked.
Mm-hmm.
Was that in
It's a
there?
Gatling gun.
I knew that was in. I knew that was part of the Civil War.
Yeah, but people don't know that that's like the first machine gun.
That
I
was
didn't know that,
like the
actually.
first.
Yeah.
That was like the first technical machine gun. Shot 200 rounds a minute. Can you imagine being
Oh my-
like a rebel or a Yankee?
I bet that
and
thing took
see-
about 5 hours to reload, though. The guy's just sitting
Really?
there. God, I'm trying. He's just dumping like BBs into this under the holes.
No.
Just like
Usually with Gatling guns, they'll have either like a drum mag or a stick mag, where they just and they continue going. That's because when they made the Gatling gun, they wanted to be efficient. So pretty much after mag's done, clip it off, put in the new mag, continue shooting.
Right.
But also, like when I was like into the Civil War, I knew every battle, what different units wore. I knew what rifles they carried, which a majority of both armies used the Springfield Model 1861 to shot a mini ball. Later on in the war, most cavalry units had the repeater rifles, like the Spencer repeater and the Henry repeating rifle. And then later on, after the Civil War, the U.S. cavalry adopted the Springfield trapdoor when they went up against the Indians.
Yeah.
And mainly like, and plus I grew up in Pennsylvania, which I actually grew up like 3 hours from the Gettysburg battlefield.
Oh well, I guess that. Well, no, yeah, that's.
And when I learned, I was 3 hours from one of the biggest battles in the American Civil War, I legit begged my dad. I was like, Dad, please take me to Gettysburg, please.
Please.
And
Please.
I will never forget Gettysburg. Gettysburg was like my favorite place to visit.
Please comment down below what your favorite bloodthirsty battle was.
Okay.
But you know what it's time for, guys?
Anime segment!
It's the anime segment. I have a question.
Okay, before we get into the anime segment, I do want to talk meta for a second for the viewers, for us. So on our first anime segment that we did, we used a specific song, but you guys have graciously been able to hear it again because our copyright has been lifted.
It's been lifted. He lifted it.
It
Did
has
he
been
lift it?
lifted.
I have to.
Yes.
I have to see this for myself. We're pausing the episode. I want to see it. Just the casual, just One Piece theme, just going in the background. But that's great. I can't believe that's
awesome.
I'm glad I filed a claim. I'm very glad.
That's so. Oh my god!
That saves me from writing a song I don't want to write in music.
It did. It so did, because he was going to have so much work, and that is a great time to add it in, because I had an anime segment ready to go before we recorded this episode. So let's get into it now with our free to use anime segment intro.
We're gonna get hit again, 100%, but we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
follow
100%. We're gonna get copyrighted again.
Do you think it will, or is it channel based?
I don't know. I hope it's not channel based.
Well, if it is channel based,
Oh, I mean, I hope it's channel based,
yeah.
so we don't have to file every video that we have an anime segment in.
We do need to get the link to the original song though, and put that in the description so that way.
I have it. It's in the description of the first episode, but
Okay.
people would know that if
Good.
you watched it.
But anyways, boys, I have a question for you.
I have an answer.
Mhm.
In Demon Slayer, I want you
Uh-huh.
to give me an answer and explain your reasoning. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna preface
Okay.
this with this. You are on equal playing fields with you choose one or the other. You are equal.
Mm,
There is no
Mhm.
buff to one that you wouldn't get countered for another, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Your
So it's
power
like-
level is exactly the same. Whether or not you're god tier, the other one is also god tier. You guys are on the
Okay.
same level and you would be an even match for each other, right?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
In Demon Slayer,
Yep.
would you rather be a Demon Slayer or a demon?
Demon Slayer.
Why would
I'm
you
not
want to
gonna
be a
be so
demon
quick.
slayer?
I gotta think about it.
Okay, here's the reason why. Because with me being a demon slayer, I could also train harder, get stronger, and I'm not weak to the sun.
That's a big one, being weak to the sun.
Yeah, the sun is a hard one to
That's
pass
a strong
on.
argument.
But
Chaston,
with
are you so good in your soul? I didn't mean that to sway your answer in any way. Like I said, you're
I'm-
equal, regardless of any buffs or debuffs that either one has. Think of it as one has a buff, the other one has a buff.
But
if that
here's
makes sense.
also the-
They're equal.
But you gotta admit, though, being weak to the sun, like that's huge.
That is
that's a
definitely
huge debuff.
huge for the demons, for sure. But also,
Because that means
if you
you
get a
can
limb
only
chopped
attack it.
off, that's kind of it for your limb.
Yeah, but the point is to train, become better, become stronger, become smarter than the demons.
All right, I'm gonna stop intervening in this. Chaston, what's your answer?
If it wasn't for the sun thing, I would pick demon.
Why?
Not because I want to be evil or anything of that matter. Just because, like, yeah, I would have to eat humans. I don't have to, but like, I would have to eat people to get stronger. And like, again, just like with Colby, like Demon Slayer's training, I eat people and I get stronger.
Are you picking demon? I thought you said you were.
I am not. I'm gonna go with Demon Slayer, just
You're gonna go with Demon
mainly
Slayer?
because of the sun thing. Because like that is a hard thing to go past. But
Right.
like just like you said, if I get a limb cut off, I could just
Grow them
Right.
back. You have a little baby hand though.
yeah, I could have a little baby hand. Just be like,
like Deadpool.
Yeah, like that, like that little baby hand right there.
All right, so that's your guys'. You guys are both demon slayers.
yes.
Yes.
See, my answer is completely opposite. I
Okay,
would
well-
wholeheartedly be a demon.
Why?
For sure.
Why?
Because I rave stomping the weak.
Of course you do.
Of course you would.
So, if I was to be a demon, my first thing to do would be to obliterate every single member of the 12 Kizuki and be the only one in that thing. If
You
anyone
would be
tried,
the only
if anyone
demon.
tried to, if anyone, specifically the 12, if anyone tried to join it, dead. I would murder them. They would be dead. I would become so powerful. Let's look over the fact I would have to murder probably thousands of people to get there. That semantics, really.
I feel like the lower ranks you could get just by like being a demon. Because
Yeah,
like
for sure.
in the beginning, whenever they're fighting Tanjiro and them, like
Rui.
yeah, just like
When you
he's just, like,
show Rui first time on screen, I was like, God, who's this guy? He looks strong. And then you get to the severely underrated upper rank 6, Gyutaro and Doc. And you see the power gap.
he's done this just to
between-
talk about Gyutaro.
Okay,
Yeah,
look,
his
I-
favorite character, an absolute favorite
Look,
character.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't look. Demon Slayer is not my favorite at all. I don't.
Hey, what's that back there? Hey, what's that back there?
What's
What?
What's with the donut sword?
Nothing.
What's with the donut sword? I'd see that donut sword.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Hey,
I'm not
Skyrim.
I'm not a
Hey,
fan.
Skyrim.
But no, but like that's one of my favorite moments in anime is when Gyutaro comes out because it shows the power gap, and I love power gaps. That's why I love One Piece so much, is because of the power
yeah.
gaps.
Well, like
There's something
you-
totally different about Gear
your
5
good guys
Luffy
get
and-
established at this level and they need to overcome something. You know, it's like
Right.
in comic books and stuff. Like, keep in mind, like Iron Man, Batman, they've been dealing with they've been fighting for decades. We're closing in on them being 100 years old, a millennia or
century,
not a,
not a millennia.
we got some time before a millennia.
Yeah,
But like you have, here's the good guys. Well, what do they overcome if they beat the bad guy? They beat the bad guy. It's like,
Right.
oh well, here's another the bad guy. And now it's like, okay, well now I gotta get better, and then okay, now I'm up here, and it's like,
yeah. But Demon Slayer does it in like I wish One Piece did it this way, but
Yeah.
I think so like Demon Slayer, the way they do their power scaling is slowly throughout the fight they just improve, right? And
Yeah.
the biggest now anyways, since I'm officially done with Wano just about, the biggest issue I have with One Piece now is like specifically I'll talk about this in the Dressrosa arc and Wano, both are moments that I think of
He just wants to talk about
When-
Dofi, his favorite
when
villain.
Luffy swaps to Gear 4 he just obliterates Doflamingo. Straight up, just obliterates him. He stands 0 chance. Wano. Kaido obliterates Luffy 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And then Luffy basically just becomes God. And then that's it. He's just God. And he just throws Kaido quite literally.
So you kind of wish One Piece had like a it's a
I
gradual.
wish it was more. I wish it was so. To go back to Demon Slayer, when Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tengen, they're all fighting Gyutaro and Daki. They're all fighting them.
Yeah.
At the end of the fight, when Gyutaro is absolutely trash talking Tanjiro, Tengen comes in screaming like a maniac. No eye, no arm, voice cracking like is absolutely shattered, which is, in real life, maybe, probably. We'll cut corners to get there, don't worry. And it's like they're almost defeated. Like they win by the skin of their teeth, which is what you would expect from an opponent as strong as that.
Yeah, and like it's oh man, this was by luck.
Right. Like quite literally because Gyutaro could not help himself from insulting Tanjiro, they lost.
Yeah.
But in One Piece, go back to Doflamingo, he's just kind of like absolutely obliterating Luffy, and then Luffy goes into Gear 4, and then Doflamingo just lost.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was more of a gradual power scale.
Like if
Instead
they
of just,
barely
like,
won, because
no.
if Doflamingo is as strong as he was made out to be, why did he lose so fast?
Unless like with One Piece, it's just like that is the strength of Luffy gearing up. Because like, okay, I will say like with
in
Gear 2.
Gear 2 is a good example of this because he barely beat Lucci with it.
Yeah. Well, no, he used Gear 3 as well.
Yeah, he had to use 2 gears to take out Rob Lucci. He beat Bluno, which makes sense to me. Bluno was he was a henchman. Right.
Well, he was a part of CP9.
He was a part of CP9, but he was like the weakest one.
Yeah,
well,
I would say the weakest.
Maybe Bubble Girl.
Bubble Girl's probably the weakest. Yeah.
Clean. What was her thing? I don't.
I can't remember.
She used to do clean things. I don't know. But
yeah, like Luffy gets into Gear 2, and then Bluno's just like, holy crap.
Yeah, he's like, where'd he go? And then all of a sudden, he's in a wall.
Yeah. And then, like, Luffy gets to Lucci, and he's just like, I'm going to just Gear 2 on you, too. And then Lucci's like, slap.
Yeah.
Then you got Sniper King coming out to give him a motivational speech, and he gets back up, hits him with some Gear 2 and some Gear 3. And then like, finally...
barely wins.
I don't even think he barely wins.
He barely wins. Let's also not talk about the fact that there is one undefeated man in One Piece.
We do not talk about the prison warden.
The prison warden Magellan has soloed Whitebeard's crew. Kaido, did he beat Kaido at one point?
I don't think they ever say that he's fought Kaido.
Okay, it's theoried that he fought Kaido. And if he's still alive, that means he gave Kaido a run.
Yeah.
And he also beat Luffy and literally the entirety of Impel Down by himself.
He's beaten 3 of the Yonko that is current. Because he's beaten Buggy.
Yeah, he beat Buggy too.
Luffy and Blackbeard.
He also beat, because I know this unfortunately by spoilers, he also beat Crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
No. Was Crocodile in the prison?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. Crocodile was in the prison. For a second there, I thought I was wrong. But,
No, you were right.
Magellan is rocking a hard, 6-0 right now.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to take care of him. That's a lot when it's, 5 emperors. He's fought.
But to be hold on. I have a little bit of argument about this. His devil fruit is a poison devil fruit. Anybody who
Yeah.
touches him, instant death. Like that, you're gone, just dead.
Right.
Yeah, isn't that what is? Hold on.
His is I think it's called the venom fruit. Or I think his is a Zoan type. It's a Hydra, and it's like might be like a Hydra type venom or something. Or is it a venom suit and he just uses Hydras?
Hold on. Let's see.
Mystery, put a description of what his devil fruit looks like and then what it like does. So that way it could be over there.
Well, while it's over there, I will also read out. His devil fruit is the Doku Doku no Mi. It's a paramecia type devil fruit that allows him to create and control poison. He can produce various types of poison, ranging from a mild irritant to a strong paralyzing agent to a deadly and highly corrosive toxin. He can also produce these poisons in either liquid or gaseous states. He's also completely immune to all types of poison.
Exactly.
So he's literally just Caesar Clown on a different level.
Yeah.
He's just like
Caesar Clown. Whenever Caesar tries to do the big, I forget what his
the
whole
ooze
thing
monster.
was. Yeah.
Whatever it was, I don't remember.
And Luffy beat him with Gear 3.
Yeah.
Luffy didn't even beat Magellan because people had to save Luffy.
There's something totally different to be said that Luffy kind of just like stood in front of all three admirals and they were like, "Who's this? Who's this guy? What's he? Aokiji, look at this dude."
Yeah.
Yeah, they just looked down and they're like, "Oh, hey, Aokiji, you gonna deal with this?"
Yeah. No, they were all just sitting there like, bus boy. Oh, bus boy, where art thou? Please scrape this trash off.
I will say the amount of determination Luffy has in the manga and anime to stand against the three, not the most powerful, but three of the most powerful Marines.
He walked between the two most powerful. Like, I would say those two are more powerful than.
I don't know. I feel like Kizaru or Akainu or even Aokiji could beat up Big Mom. I feel like Big Mom was hyped up too much.
I don't know. Big Mom was. See, I have the completely opposite thing. For a moment, I had a thing where I thought Big Mom was stronger than Kaido, but that was before I saw like Kaido.
Yeah.
If Kaido was in his regular human form, I think Big Mom is stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
But if he's in his Beastman form, maybe while he's in his dragon form, that's pushing it a little. I think they could go toe to toe with each other because technically, Big Mom does have more experience because she's the one that indoctrinated Kaido into the Rocks pirate crew.
Yeah,
that is true. But here's the thing, though: Big Mom has a soul fruit. She can literally just grab anyone's soul out of
But they have to be afraid of her.
They do have to be afraid of her.
That's also a fair point.
So as long as you stand flat foot, not scared, you're fine.
On another note, though, Big Mom can kind of just. I mean, you saw what she did with her broken arm. She just straight up. Like it was a Lego set.
And here's also the other thing. Kaido in his dragon form literally blew an entire mountain off the face of the earth.
I think you're overlooking what Big Mom did to her own island and the ocean. Big Mom did the exact same thing to her own island. And not to mention she did it to Kaido's island multiple times. And you see her beam go through the island, not only through Onigashima, but it goes through the ground quite a lot in Wano, the actual ground of Wano. Yeah. I don't know why I had to think about that. That's the hole they knock her in, I think.
Now, okay, the thing is like, is Big Mom and Kaido gone?
No. Well, I don't think they're gone in the same way that Buggy's gone, if that makes sense. Or like, you know what I mean?
What do you mean by Buggy being
gone? Doflamingo is a better one. Because Doflamingo just kind of comes back every now and then. He's just like, wait till the world corrupts as he's sitting at the bottom.
So Big Mom her current status is unknown to the world.
She's not dead, and as soon as she gets that bubble off of her, she'll just get back up. And then Kaido is, I don't know.
And they just say straight up, Kaido is not dead.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess it would take a lot to kill the king of the beasts, Kaido.
Yeah.
But...
And that was the anime segment.
Good anime segment, boys.
Yes.
Back to obsessions. Now, my obsession is I'll just, you know what? We'll just go ham in. I'm gonna say Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, brother.
Oh,
My
boy.
obsession with that game.
2 hours later.
I knew everything about everything in that game. I knew every single song that came out all the way till Sister's Location. Every song you find on the internet from that time period, I knew word by word. I knew every single one of them.
2014 up until whenever
20
Sis Location came out.
Yeah, something like. Even after that, I have multiple books in my closet back here that you won't be
Austin
able to
has
see
the
'cause I'm not-
Silver Knight series.
What?
Austin has the Silver Knight series books.
Oh, the Silver Eyes.
Silver Eyes.
It's Silver Eyes, yeah.
See, look,
So-
the obsessed guy knew.
Yeah. But I have like multiple books, like composition notebooks, art books, spiral notebooks in that box that are just full of drawings. And I actually did get pretty good at drawing them. I got so in depth with it that I created my own thing. I had my own
An
thing.
AU, an alt or an OC. Would it be OC or AU?
OC, it's different.
Because if I say like, is it a whole other universe or is it like just a character?
Well, I guess it is in the universe because they've kind of confirmed. Nerd talk. They did confirm that all the fan games are pretty much in the universe. So
Did they?
yes, they did.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they probably.
You know
are
what's funny is
haunted.
they also used that one guitar bit from It's Been So Long. Is that the name of the song? It's FNAF 2, I think. FNAF 2 song?
Is it by JT Machinima?
I I know the section on the guitar. I would play it, but I don't want to get us copyrighted. But like like TikTok was also using that sound. The da 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 da.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
that also made me, just like the Titanic, made me sad about TikTok actually going away. I'm like, oh no, you're making me feel feelings. Stop it.
Yeah, don't hurt my VVs. But my obsession with that game, that series, that existence, that is what
Made on a
started me
whim.
down. That started me so fast on so many different things. It was the first thing I ever got into so much that I knew every single thing about everything. I knew everything. If you had questions about it, I was the person you would ask. I could
Yeah.
recite the game theory videos.
Oh, dude, loved the game theory videos on it. And I remember like seeing like the notification back in high
Right.
school. I think 8th grade even, of like, hey, new game theory video.
Huh.
I go home on the school
2014,
iPad that
like
we
fifth
got.
grade.
Yeah.
I got
Like going
really
home on the school
into-
iPad and watching it.
It's so hard to think about like now. But when Markiplier uploaded his Sister's Location videos, I was waiting day after
dude.
day for him to upload his custom night 2020 mode completion for that game. Ah.
Yeah, that one's nuts. And really, I thought he would have been the guy to get the ultimate custom night 50-20 mode.
Oh,
I
no,
really
there's-
thought-
there's too much.
Well, there's people that's completed it,
Well, yeah, the sweat stains you see streaming.
but like, I really wanted it to be Mark though. Like,
Right.
head canon, I wanted it to be Mark.
But why wouldn't you want him to do it? But it would take him.
I think he tried it and got like 7 seconds, and he's like, fuck that.
Yeah, he made it 7 seconds in. But that's when he didn't know how to do it. When he actually learned how to do it, he did it again. And he actually made it, I think he made it like 30
Like 3
seconds
minutes.
in.
30 seconds? I thought it was.
Well, the night ends at 4 minutes.
Oh, does it?
4:25 or something,
Oh.
maybe.
So the nights are shorter in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then you get a cutscene
Yeah.
after every 10.
I will say,
or after every 1,000 points.
okay, real quick on your obsession, since you're so knowledgeable, what is your favorite like FNAF cutscene? And I know cutscenes are like on the newer games.
The Sister's Location, the one where it's panning, the custom night 2020 mode completion, where
Yeah.
it's panning and it's like, they thought I was you. I come here to fight. And then Springtrap kind of bounces
Oh
out.
yeah, that is I was
my favorite
shocked.
one.
Now,
Or
I will say,
or in the custom night one where they got the Japanese thing going.
oh yeah, that one's funny. Okay, my favorite cutscene from the FNAF games is from Pizzeria Simulator when the fire happens. The monologue from Henry.
That's right.
I love that monologue.
should play a snippet of that monologue, Mystery.
Oh yeah.
Just so
please.
they
Where
could get
your
a
story
taste.
ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends for all of us in communication.
Go look it up and go watch the full thing because
You should just watch Mark. Watch Markiplier.
just
do
go
that.
watch Mark play it.
Yeah,
But
just go
also,
watch
there's
Mark
something to
play
be
it.
said about those, like, since we're on the topic of Pizzeria Simulator specifically, that cutscene you're talking about, the parts that lead up to it, you have to let in every single animatronic to get that cutscene.
Yeah.
And the monologue, or the parts where it's like, where it plays the sound
Yeah.
and it does the thing. Did you know that Lefty was supposed to be a capsule for the puppet?
Yes. I forget the acronym.
I read it one day. I don't remember what it is.
Lefty acronym. Lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract.
Right.
Lefty.
So another thing that you guys, this is just going to be a Q&A. Did you guys know that in Security Breach, the puppet is basically the entire building?
Really?
Oh yeah, because all the tendrils around.
Right, and if you look at some of the power lines, and specifically the Ruin DLC, I think is what it is, like whenever you get into the nitty-gritty of the Pizzaplex, you see the black and white stripes on a lot of the power lines. And I think you can even see
they're
them
in a specific pattern, and it's not the whole thing. It's in like sections.
Right. So like you could just walk past it and completely miss it. But I could go on hours.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we could talk about how in the second game, that's my favorite animatronic designs is the second game.
The second game, dude, the withered animatronics.
I drew Withered Foxy so much that I could just draw him off rip.
I just like the implications.
They look real, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you look at Chuck E. Cheese, or you look at Chuck E. Cheese, or like the pizza guy. I don't know any of their names.
They have a
but,
list of animatronics.
Yes, they do. They are actually have two. That's actually two restaurants that merged. Did you know that?
Yes. Hold on. So you have like actual Chuck E. Cheese, and then like he mixed with like where they have like
Like an Italian pizza.
yeah, and it's like you have the chicken, hippo. I'm looking at images. A hippo, a dog, and like the pizza dude.
Yeah, the Italian guy.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, but there's
Jasper
also
is the dog.
Jasper. His name is Jasper.
Jasper the dog, Helen the chicken, and Pasquale is the name of the guy.
Squally.
Pasquale.
That's funny, but
Then Charles Entertainment Cheese himself.
I think.
That's his name. Don't judge me.
Oh, I believe you. Mechanic wise, the second game is my favorite to play because it feels the most smooth. Like I would spend like hold on. Put Mr. E. I will send you a picture of my hours in Sister's location. This is embarrassing, but so I'm pretty sure this is probably
If it's
wrong.
anything under 4,000 hours, not enough.
Imagine just popped up. It's 4,000 hours in Sister's
I
location.
wonder who has the most amount of hours in that game.
I have 56 hours
Really?
in Sister's location. A lot of that, though, is me trying to do that godforsaken mini game that you have to do to get custom night.
I can't remember what it is. It's been so long.
It's the baby one where you have to get all the kids with the cupcakes. But you have to do it in a
Oh.
specific order, and you have to skip the cupcakes, and you have no time to spare. There is zero. Like, you have to get in it, and you have to go. Like, you cannot wait, and you have to do it pixel perfect, or you will mess it up, and you will not make it. And I have failed that for probably about 12 hours. That's not even an exaggeration, because what you would have to do is you have to die on the 5th night, because the 5th night is the fastest time you die. Actually, no, I did it on the 2nd night, because the 2nd night was the fastest time you would die, because you just pitter-patter your way fast as possible
Oh yeah, and you hit Belora.
through Foxy.
Have you played Help Wanted on the VR?
I have.
Have you played that specific
I
one?
think that's on the 2nd one. I don't know if it's on the 1st one.
I've played it on the 2nd one.
Let's talk about Help One.
Let's talk about. Actually, hold on. Little update for the viewers on the Uncharted Gaming channel, my channel. I'll be getting a VR soon. So
Oh.
VR
Nice.
gameplay.
VR plays.
Oh yeah, we've never done this before, but this is Uncharted Gaming on YouTube. That's Chaz of All Trade, and I'm Mystic Zero Master, all on YouTube, by the way.
No one cares.
We've never said that. Never ever said that before. But go check
I
us
think
out.
in the first
If you-
one, in the
You
first
did.
episode,
We did?
We did in the first
You
one.
Sure. Oh well, look, we'll just okay, this is the first one. Anyways, so yeah, go check us out if you like us here. Go watch. We're probably not as funny or funnier, depending on your sense of humor. If it's bad, we're not funny. Anyway, so I guess that I'm going to end it so that way I don't drag on for another 10 minutes about my favorite game franchise to ever exist. So who wants to go next? Who we got?
I'll go next.
I know we've got a couple more.
We'll go backwards order.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Colby, what you got? This is
So-
your final one, so make it good.
Last one. I used to be really obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid.
Oh boy.
Like
Oh, yeah.
it was bad, dude. I had a book, like a thick, like probably 200-page encyclopedia on every dinosaur that existed. And I would just read that book for hours, just blurting about the different dinosaurs from different time periods.
That's
And I
crazy.
remember I used to take that heavy book to school.
Don't you have something you could show our viewers, say, in your Funko collection?
Colby be like,
Yes. I'm like, has it?
What is the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
as I pull out my music folder to emulate this joke.
Oh, guys,
Well,
did you
Colby
get
is-
it? He's obsessed with music. Could you not tell?
Yeah. But anyways, you were saying, Chaston?
But oh well, did you already grab the thing, Colby?
Do you have a thing? I
Do you
thought you
have
had
a
a thing.
I do. It's one of the things from my Funko collection. Since we talked about One Piece,
Oh,
gotta do the main
Oh.
character.
I thought you were gonna do. I thought you had a Jurassic Park thing.
I don't, sadly.
Nathan.
Actually, hold on.
Oh, that
Hold on.
dinosaur? Is it?
Hold on.
Kaido doesn't count as a
Oh.
dinosaur. Kaido doesn't count as a dinosaur. Yeah, I knew you had something. Well, that looks
I completely forgot about this one.
rough. Oh, is that an
Yeah,
actual?
it-
Is that a Funko Pop? Oh, it is.
It's a movie. The movie poster. You can't really see because of my screen.
Yeah, but yeah.
Maybe-
So I knew you had.
There we go. You can see it a
Yeah.
little better. But it's Rexy and the Velociraptor.
Yep, I figured you had one of those.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. I'm like I don't think
That's
I
what
do.
I
I'm
was
like, wait a
hinting
minute.
at.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm an idiot. But anyways, back to this. Met this guy in person. Coolest dude ever.
I like to beg to differ. The coolest person I think I've ever met at a convention has got to be
Okay.
the voice actor who played Sub-Zero in the original Mortal Kombat
Ja-
movie.
Jacob. Semantics.
There is no semantics on this. This guy, he saw me pull out this VHS tape in like pristine condition, and the guy looked like he was about to cry. He was so excited to sign it. You have no idea. He was so excited. Like he's like the happiest person ever.
But anyways, I just figured this is like one of my cooler signed ones.
do you not still have your book on dinosaurs?
I don't.
Damn.
I kids lost the time. Get it? Lost the time? Dinosaurs?
Yeah, because he's the oldest one, so he probably grew up with them.
Hey.
Hey, at least he's
Hey.
not the youngest.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Mr. E's younger than I am. Are you Mr. E? Well, you know.
but imagine
Right, get
sharing
wrecked.
a birthday with Nathan, though.
Yeah, but
That's wild that we share a birthday, though. That's crazy.
yeah, that is weird.
That is crazy.
And you guys are a year apart exactly.
Yeah, we were
That's
exactly a year apart.
cool. You guys need to look at like the times on your birthday, like on your birth
I was
certificate.
That'd be
born,
crazy.
I was born at like 1 to 3 so there.
AM or PM?
A.M.
I was born at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. June
I think it
28th.
was.
Morning baby all the way to this day here.
Yeah.
I think it was a morning baby too. I think it was born.
I was a night
AM?
owl. I wonder if that's why I stay up so late.
Just trying to get back to your original time.
Yeah.
But
Or I'm trying to
so
catch
Colby,
up 5
Colby, is
days
that your
before you do.
dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh God, here we
I
go.
So-
just.
I
Cha-
think I want to do.
before Chaston goes on this rant that I know he's
Yes.
gonna go on for the next hour.
Hey.
Hey,
I just want you to know
semantics.
this is another great game franchise. Wink. Go,
But-
Chaston.
No, right before I do, is I want to do this, and then I want to do two small, maybe one small one that we can all three talk about. And I think you guys already know the one that we're going to talk about together,
Yeah.
gushing
Okay.
over of our obsession. But with my finale is Undertale, discovered back in 2015 on the Septic Man himself's channel, Sean
Oh.
McLaughlin.
Oh my God, I totally forgot to mention the cringiest thing I did in mine. Put a pin in that before you start talking about your cringe, because I know you have cringe like this. I used to pretend that I was the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics when I was growing up, and I used to play in my yard pretending I was an animatronic. That's what I did in my imagination on my free time when I was at home at school. I was running around outside making animatronic noises and walking around like an animatronic. That's what I did. Now you know. All right, Chaston.
Did the same
go.
thing for Undertale. But besides that, I remember discovering it. Like, it popped up on my thing, and it was after I think Jack played FNAF for a little bit, and I was like, he's doing the thing Mark did. I know this. He's playing it. He's having fun. And then, like, maybe a year after FNAF 1 comes out, I think it's a bit before FNAF 2 comes out. I can't remember if
I think I think Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out November 2014.
October.
October 2014. And then Undertale came out sometime in 2015. Probably
Hold on.
like
So FNAF 2, nope, that's the movie. Oh,
the movie? Does it already have a poster?
it doesn't have a poster, but it has
It
been
doesn't have a movie.
official release date in theaters December 5th, 2025.
Oh my God, Scott Cawthon putting out the work, bro. I wonder
Okay,
if Mark's
well,
gonna be in it.
He better. Which
He was
it sucks that he was too busy on his movie to be in the first one. Okay, but hold on. Wait. FNAF 2 was released November 11th, 2014. Hold on.
A month later? There's no way Scott made an entire other game. That's
So,
crazy.
So the first game was released August 8th. That's when it was released.
Uh-huh.
And then the second game was November 11th. So there was a couple months between it.
There's no way.
Oh, but that is crazy.
That is so close.
So wait, FNAF 3 was March 2nd of 2015. July 23rd of 2015 was FNAF 4.
When did Undertale come out?
Let's see what Undertale is in comparison. September of 2015.
So when did
So-
FNAF 4 come out?
July 23rd.
When did Sister?
What about Sister? Yeah, that's what I was. Okay, 2016. Okay, so there was a
2016.
period of time between, but Sister Location is a very different game. In
Yeah,
comparison.
that's wild though that those games are like months apart.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Scott
With how
Cawthon,
much-
Jesus Christ.
What an absolute unit.
I know. He's created such a childhood for people. Even my younger brother is obsessed into it right now.
Dude, my siblings, they love watching me play it. That's partially the reason I have so many hours in it, is because they
And so
love
they watch you
watching-
play it.
They love watching play it.
So September of 2015 is I think a little bit after that Jack started uploading it. But he didn't upload like 20-minute videos like you would normally see back then. It was like hour and like another hour 15, hour 30, and you're just like, wow,
Yeah, of
that's
Undertale.
a lot of
in
time.
the time period where the longest video you would see would be 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And you would be like, it's school night, but I can stay up a little bit.
Bro, like I didn't give a crap.
I didn't either. I
Not
actually-
one given.
If my mom watches this, she's going to be incredibly mad, although she probably knows. I used to stay up until about 4 or 5 in the morning watching Mark's Subnautica series until I
Bro.
watched it to a point where like it stopped releasing, and then I would just rewatch it every time he released
I used to go on the FNAF
FNAF
playlist and push play and go to bed.
That's
Watch
what
it
I
as
do
much as
now.
I can and fall asleep.
I go on to Mark's 3 Scary Games.
Oh, dude, 3 Scary Games.
And I just hit shuffle and I just let it go. And I just kind of listen to it. It's
Best.
my white noise.
But Undertale was such like a shell shock for me because like Jack put so much life into it. Because like he did voices for all the characters.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen a YouTuber, like obviously Mark was all over it, but you can't really do that in a game like that. I feel like Jack created something in RPG games that people wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Does that click?
No, yeah, that does. But like he made it alive more. Like, and then people
Right.
just like with FNAF where they made like their own characters, their own universes and stuff in fan games. Undertale started expanding into alternate universes. AUs is what I've been referencing. If I haven't specified, that's what AU stands for. Which I learned that from Undertale. Which then you have fan animations. I have to talk about it. I can't remember the name of the channel right now. I think it's Camellia Cuevas.
Are you talking about Glitch Tail?
Yes. Watching the evolution of the animation over time of
Or
like, oh, it's this
seeing
real.
the Megalomaniac song animation.
Oh my god.
See that re-release? My favorite
Nice.
song in Undertale, and this is probably going to be debatable because everyone goes Bone Trousel. Everyone goes Bone Trousel.
Oh yeah.
They
Bone
go Spider Dance, or they go Megalovania. My favorite song in Undertale is Death by Glamour.
I gotta say, Death by Glamour is great. Metal
Death by
Crusher.
Glamour. Death by.
I like Metal Crusher more. Yeah, dude. I love that. I don't know why. I just love that.
It does sound good for sure.
But
That
but
got
the
my-
bo 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 bo
Yeah.
bo 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 bo. Like that is such a
That's
good
Undying.
intro. And then fucking oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the intro to Death by Glamour. Oh yes.
Like that is, and like I think there's only 2 voice lines in the whole game.
It is. There is.
It's Flowey
laughing. Oh
and
no!
it's-
There's 3 because Flowey does also laugh. Flowey also says that's a wonderful idea.
Oh yeah.
And he does laugh before you fight him as Omega Flowey, I think.
Yeah, he does.
And
Well, but no, because he comes down
no,
with the dramatic music and then he laughs.
Yeah, and then
And then it starts to fight.
the absolute CG nightmare that had to have been to create.
Yeah. But Undertale was such a like a great time. I used to walk around. I used to have a blue jacket. There's pictures. I have a picture of me wearing my infamous blue jacket of the time.
Are you gonna give one to Mystery?
Mystery can have a blue jacket.
Okay, yeah.
But
It'll be
my
down
favorite
here with
color of
everything
blue,
else.
my favorite color used to be green until Undertale, and it changed to blue because of
Not a specific blue. Well, actually, yeah, specific blue. Not just regular blue. The sands, the actual real blue.
And then since then, my favorite colors hit a different couple of colors. I think right now, it's I like red. Red is good.
You like?
Yeah, like what that guy's wearing. I like that. But like Undertale was so crazy, and I used to walk around just fucking like in my backyard, just like pretending I'm Sans in the fucking fight, throwing shit around. I tied a string to a paper mache bone I made, and I weighted it with pennies, so I could have it like a yo-yo on a finger. Fucking sling that shit around. I hit myself so many times with it. Oh my god! And keep in mind, it's a chunk of pennies.
Right.
And like my poor 14-year-old self just going, oh!
Yeah. Dude, I
But-
used to like, like when I would walk around as the animatronics and stuff, so you know how they step weird?
hmm
Right, they stepped kind of clunky. There was so
Yeah.
many times that I twisted my ankle because
Oh, dude.
I stepped wrong and I just kind of stepped on the side of my foot and I just fell over and I was like,
Yeah. But
I'm
so
done playing
besides
for
that,
today.
I'm keeping Undertale in a shorter thing because I could gush about Undertale. Just like Jacob
talk
could go
about
about FNAF,
the-
and Colby
The
can go on
Bad
Civil
Time
War.
Trio
No,
or Ink Sands.
bro,
No.
we don't have time to get into all the side AUs for it.
No.
What I do want to get into is for the final topic, the final thing for all 3 of us to gush over
Okay.
is Conflict of Nations.
Oh.
3. Conflict of Nations 3.
Conflict of
God.
Nations 3.
Oh
Yes,
god.
technically. But
Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
that game is why I'm so evil.
Bro.
That game is
It's-
exactly why I'm so evil. These
Okay,
two
Frank?
bozos play it normally. What
no,
I like
whoa,
to do,
whoa, don't lump me with normal.
I like to play democratically, and well, maybe
Yeah, democratically my
I may
ass.
fold the truth, if you will, saying one nation was going to.
You would turn other countries against each other, and then you would sneak in and take over the country.
Semantics, really.
There's no semantics. It's called being strategic.
So on my side of Conflict of Nations, I used to have this big ass TV at home, and I have my laptop I would carry with me to school.
Did you get it? Oh my god, you found it. That's
My
the
laptop
one.
covered in stickers. I'm gonna cover one of them because one of them probably is demonetized.
Which one?
It's
is it?
nothing lewd. Actually, you know, it doesn't matter.
We
'cause
can
no-
just
they're not-
you can just blur it if it's any.
it's nothing bad. It's just
Just a
edibles.
mystery to burn. Or,
They're edibles. That's what the sticker's for.
Oh.
I don't think that's necessarily
Blur
bad.
it
That's
out.
not bannable.
Blur it out. It's demonetized. The whole podcast is ruined.
Channel deleted.
Yeah, delete
But
it.
like
Gone
on my side,
forever.
I would take my laptop to school, and like at the time of us really getting back into it was senior year, and everyone had their own issued Chromebooks, and I just didn't want to carry a school one because it was restricted. I was like, man, I want
Well,
mine.
even in junior year. In
Yeah.
sophomore year, Chasta was carrying around his laptop, and me and him, he would have a tab on his laptop, and I would have a tab on his laptop. That was my account and his account in the same game.
And we would switch between them.
And we would switch between them and be like, oh, what if we did this? And we would spend hours looking at the screen. So if you don't know, it takes tens of hours to do anything in that game.
Oh yeah.
And we would sit there and stare at the same screen for hours.
And you would just watch one troop go
Yeah,
on the screen.
for about 30 minutes. That little move
Now-
would take probably
Now,
about an hour and a
one of
half.
my favorite moments from Conflict of Nations, especially senior year. It was me, Chaston, and Nathan. We decided to pick random countries. I was Vietnam. Chaston, I think, was some other country next to Vietnam.
I was Myanmar.
You're Myanmar.
Myanmar!
Chaston tried to take over me, and I absolutely
Oh yeah,
crushed
I got wrecked.
it. He got
My
crushed.
favorite game though that I played was by myself on
What
the.
are you,
For
Fred?
those that don't know of Conflict of Nations World War III, it's a real-time strategic game of you pick a modern country and you do anything you want with it really within the limitations of the game. You can go diplomatically, stay completely out of everyone's way as long as no one messes with you, build up a military force, take over the world. My two favorite countries to use was Norway and Italy. My best game I ever played was Italy, and I remade the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, not just Roman Empire, Holy Roman Empire. I reunited all the way up to the UK, down to the north of Africa, all the way over to Russia. And I had a coalition. And keep my gamer tag back then, which I used to use regularly, and I bet if you look up, you could probably find the Dark One 03. People learned the name of mine and Jacob very quickly, but the name they feared worse than anything was the coalition name of Nove Terrain, the name of the podcast.
Wow, it all ties back in, doesn't
It
it?
does. And watching this one dude, this will live with me forever. This one dude, I get in a game, start the coalition, just so like, and this wasn't even with Jacob or Colby or Nathan. This was just me getting people into the coalition, just so I had help. Watching a dude go, fuck that coalition, don't mess with them, leave the game, just leave the game because you're done. Was such like a oh, I sit on the throne, I have won. Like I don't have to do anything, I've won. Like I've instilled fear in people. Because like the name just carries weight. It's a recognizable name. You see the name, you're gonna know it. I feel
Yeah.
like in some time
Right,
people
and if you
can
see
recognize
the-
Nove Terrain very well.
Right, and the flag that we had as well.
And the flag
is not. It doesn't look like any other flag.
because
Yeah.
in old Conflict of Nations, you could upload your own picture. Now
Oh,
you have
yeah.
like 30 presets and you have to pick one, which sucks. There's ones close to what we use, so I just use that when I play. But my gamer tag now is Chaz of all trades on it. I think I still use Chaz of all trades on it. I don't know. I think I still have access to my old Dark 103, which is like crazy. But getting on the game and having people be like, "Oh no," is the best feeling in the world. You're just sitting there like on your in your chair, just like, yes.
That was
fear.
there was an experience I had. I basically recreated the Soviet Union.
Really?
With an ad of Finland, because my only country is Finland. I only ever play Finland. If Finland is not available in the game and I don't feel like playing something else like Cuba or something, and I only play Cuba when it's just the North American continent. It's the only time I play Cuba.
Yeah.
And I will leave games just to play Finland. I will go find a game to play.
Nathan always plays Cuba.
So I got into this game and I kind of just took over the entire north area, Sweden, Norway. They were both dead. They were in a coalition with my good friend Russia at the time after I had absolutely murdered.
I think I remember this game. I think I remember you showing me this.
And Russia was messaging not very kind things. They were threatening me, to take my nation, what have you. What do? Hey, China, listen, but Russia has just invited me to their coalition to assist in making sure that China does not stay on. And I'm just letting you know, and that's what us good friends do. We've never spoken, but I just know you're a good person. So I get back on a couple days later. China and Russia are all at it. They're fighting. Their borders are swapping, basically. They're like, you can see the line that China's troops, they're not very experienced in the game. You can tell. And so what do? I burn through Russia and I burn through China. There are no friends, just enemies. And that's how I created the Soviet Union. Plus
Jacob's technique of message two separate countries saying, hey, this guy's going to attack you. And then you message the other guy saying, hey, this guy's going to attack you. Like, let's say, because I've used it. Like a real example is as Italy, I was like, hey, France, Germany's coming for you. And I'll be like, hey, Germany, France is coming for you. Give it like a day or two. If they're not in a coalition or you don't think they've talked, they're at each other's throats. And I'm just like, oh, two countries at war, the morale is down. Murder
Yoink.
France. I'll be like, hey, Germany, I helped you out. And Germany usually is like, hey, that was my fight. Screw you, guy. Try and attack you. And like by the time he's sending troops in the water around, you're already in France. You just pop into the country and he's eliminated. And you just wait for the troops to try and land on your homeland and then defend it. Because by that time you have rather some battle tanks or you have your recon troops there, and those usually hold off about near anything.
I did play a game with somebody who played as Turkey who used UAVs exclusive. He had so many UAVs at the end of the game. I got absolutely fried, and this is what I did like that. I was Finland and I took over Russia. I didn't bother Sweden and Norway that game, but I took over Russia because that's what I always do. Russia, no particular reason, and Turkey. Oh my God, this guy took over everything. Africa. He took over all of Africa. He took over all of Europe. He took over the entirety of Asia. Like he was I got absolutely erased. He had so many UAVs on everything.
I have a story from when I first started. And like this is like the game modes now are like very mainstream. Like, oh yeah, I know that game mode. This is when Flashpoint was the only game mode, and they've expanded to like the World War III. Like now here's a global map.
Yeah,
full map.
Flashpoint was
like a little bit of America, a little bit of Russia. You get Scandinavia and like
Europe.
the top of Africa. Then you have all of Europe in between.
Right.
But then you had World War III, which was like the global map.
Right.
I was like, oh boy, China's open. I want to pick a big country that has a lot of cities because I know in this game, if you have more troops, you kind of just win. They've changed the AI now to where it's not that case anymore. Like it actually depends on your location, where you are, and the type of troops you have in the fight.
Right.
Not just the numbers. But I put spies on, I can't remember who was, I think it's Malaysia. No, Indonesia. It was Indonesia. This string of islands. Right. Keep in mind, I'm big boy. I'm big, strong.
Who were you playing as?
China.
You were China.
I was China, and he was invading Australia, and I had a spy on his homeland city, his capital, so I could see what he's researching. And like a couple days later, I'm fighting Mongolia. I think I'm fighting like North Korea or something.
Trying to take all the small nations, yeah.
Like I'm just fighting whoever's around. Like again, I'm new to the game still. Like maybe played it a month or two. And I get a message, and I've never received such an aggressively worded letter to me before. And he's like, this is an act of war. I can't believe you've done this. You are a shell of a man. And I'm just sitting there like, this guy's hardcore. Jesus Christ. And he then he's like, I'm on the way. And I'm just like, whatever, man. Go ahead and try. And the game, really, you can look at it for 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes a day total.
Well,
You check on it a couple times.
I'd say probably an entire day, spend 5 or 10 minutes playing it for about every 12 hours, roughly.
Yeah, because stuff moves so slow, there's no point.
Right.
Even on the 4 times where 1 second's 4 seconds in the game, it's still slow.
Yeah, 1 hour is 4 times.
Yeah. So I check back again the next day, and I have more words written to me, and I'm just like,
words.
oh no. And he's still going off. He's like, I'm on the way. I'm coming for your ass. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, calm down. It was a spy. I didn't even do anything to you. Well, by this time, Australia is dead, and you see this purple going up through Southeast Asia, which is comprised of Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and just for funsies, Philippines. Just for funsies. He just sucker punched the crap out of all those countries at the same time. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I might need to actually set up a defense. I don't have troops over there. So by the time I get troops halfway across the giant country of fucking China, he's already meet me halfway in my own country. He's taking half my shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy is the guy to be worried about. He murders me. And I think by that time, Russia is helping him because Russia invades. I think Japan came in. I just got
but
sandwiched.
they saw
what was happening. They're like,
they saw Indonesia.
He's dying.
They were like, I want to get in on that.
Get him. So what I did was, as a last-ditch effort, I took a singular tank unit that had, I think, a main battle tank and 2 infantry, maybe a recon, and I sent them away. And I was like, maybe I can find solitude on a random small country where no one will touch me until the end of the game. I make it to Iceland. Take Iceland. The little tiny baby boy. I take Iceland. I'm like, good. I'll live over here. Germany decides he wants Iceland. And I guess he didn't know I was there. And he didn't know I was dead. I messaged him please just let me have because I moved him away from the city because I noticed I was going to get destroyed. So I moved the troop away from the city. I'm sitting on one singular province. I have 1 victory point.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and he's like, I could kill you right now. And I'm just like, hey man, I just ran away from Indonesia. That's it. And he's like, I could call Indonesia over. And I'm like, don't do that. And he's like, okay, it don't matter to me. By this point in the game, it's probably been 20 days into the game. Him taking me over, it took a minute, but Germany in World War II took France in 28 days, right?
Well, no, it was 14.
Was it 14?
Yeah, it was 14.
In 2 days, 2 days, Indonesia owned all of me because he kicked Russia and Japan out and murdered them as well.
Jesus.
He was so offended at the one spy on his capital. He was so offended. From that point on, I wanted to aspire to be that guy that it's okay, I'm on the way. And someone goes, oh my God. I aspired to be that. And I achieved it within a year's time of that happening.
I'm right there
with
you.
Oh man.
It feels so good to just
look
at somebody
good.
And just be like, I could just erase you, but I'm not gonna. But
I could though.
I could though.
It's like, look, I don't want to erase you off the face of the planet, but I got about 20 nuclear warheads behind me.
Oh man, don't get me started on playing with the nuclear warheads.
Dude.
All right.
I remember one time we destroyed 20 nations
before it closes on my Italian game where I reinstated the Holy Roman Empire. When I got to a certain point of big where no one could oppose me, I just started mass producing nukes. Every single city that wasn't mine got hit by a nuke as often as I could produce them. The moment I made one, sent. I had notifications set up to where if it happened, sent. I kept checking it every hour just to make sure I could hit it. Every city was making nukes. I annexed so many other cities to make more. Oh my God, I destroyed the world. You don't mess with the pizza boppity boopity.
You don't mess with the...
Yeah.
But I think we dragged it on long enough.
Yep. All right. So if you want to check us out anywhere else, that's Chaz of All Trades on YouTube.
Hello.
That's Uncharted Gaming down there. I'm Mystic Zero Master, and that'll be it. I guess we'll see you guys next time.